All right, we are live for the 87th episode of the
Let's Go podcast. We're back, and finally, after a long while into making this happen, we are here. And welcome to our first ever collaboration podcast, HSL MSL. We're super pumped and excited to announce that 1 week for today, the inaugural HSL MSL game will be happening, All-Star game. We are thrilled to have Yitz Greenbaum, Ezzy Katz on the podcast, the commissioners of the MSL. Especially I go a little longer back than David, but always been good to us, and we try to always return the favor, and we appreciate them. We also, and very importantly, I welcome Jake Byrne, as you guys all know, especially our HSL followers. You guys know him for Addictive Ads, but he has a new company, Addictive Research. Proudly we have a few sponsors, but proudly one of our major sponsors for the HSL All-Star Game versus MSL on Thursday. Welcome to all of you, and as usual, David Gottlieb, please take it away.
It's thrilling to be here. It's a lot of work. I don't know if there's been anything done like this in the Jewish softball or sports community. Probably it has happened in the history, but nothing that I know of in the 5 to 10 years that I've been involved in these Jewish sports leagues. So it's a big honor to have Yitz and Ezzy. But before we get into all the fun and drama that's going to be happening next Thursday night, let's hear from our sponsor. You used to know him by Addictive Ads, but now he is known as Mr. Addictive Research, Jake Byrne.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm sure everyone knows of Addictive Ads. I pay people to post ads on their WhatsApp status and Instagram. It's something that everyone sees, and I've gotten feedback, I've gotten pushback. People are like, "Why are your ads always in my feed?" But at the end of the day, it works for businesses, and businesses are happy. Now we're providing a service.
One second. I just want to spell it out a little bit better, especially as somebody who's sent multiple clients Jake's way. You're saying you pay people to post ads, but what you also do is help people design ads, help people design marketing campaigns to post.
Yes.
Helps with very mundane things like making a WhatsApp link that goes directly to your WhatsApp if you're trying to sell. Very mundane aspects of the marketing process Jake is there to help with. So he's helping connect. I guess there are really three aspects to it. There's the seller, there's the advertiser who is partially used in on WhatsApp, and then there's potential consumers. So Jake brings them all together.
Exactly. So I guess A to Z is what we can call it, the full nuts and bolts we do with Addictive Ads. And now we've started Addictive Research, which will be paying people to answer questions across social medias on all platforms. And it'll be a very easy way for a person to make a couple bucks by answering a couple questions. And then on the other side, a business can understand their consumer better. They can have people between the ages 18 and 25 within a couple zip codes, whether it's Muncie, whether it's Hillcrest, like that plug, whether it's Lakewood. But to be honest, we don't talk about Lakewood on this podcast because I don't know why they aren't invited in this All-Star game. But yeah, we can help businesses understand consumer insights better. And I believe there might be a little partnership brewing, a little trial run between the HSL and Addictive Research. I mean, you'll hear more about that in the coming weeks. But that's the whole idea, helping businesses understand their audiences and consumers better. That's it.
Do you know if from your typical establishment on whether it's Main Avenue in Passaic, Main Street in Kew Garden Hills, what's the busy spot in Muncie called? Route
59.
Route 59.
I mean, they have nothing else to do in Muncie, so they all gather around a highway or gather around a softball field in Muncie because it's either play with the cows or go play softball.
You know, we have a dedicated HSL sponsor here. What he does, what he said, he's constantly, constantly making. Yeah.
I mean, I can trash more leagues if you guys want. I'm just kidding. We don't trash any more leagues on here.
So Jake, does anything exist like this right now in the firm community?
Currently, there are a little bit of market research. There are small market research companies out there, but nothing will be as convenient as Addictive Research, where we'll bring the survey to you on platforms you're already on. So that's the whole gist of it. You can answer questions from just your phone on whether it's WhatsApp through a bot, whether it's Instagram through a chat. I don't know if they have Instagram in Muncie. It might be a little bit too sacrilegious for them, but that is
Side note, Yates, when Yates and Ezzy,
Jake, I
when
like
you
you
guys
warming
said,
up, baby. You warming up. You warming up.
I go right in. If you can tell, I jump right into the pool and I will make fun of it.
If we just all pick on Lakewood, it's so much easier.
Oh yeah, but I
Jake,
don't think Lakewood even has access to Riverside or YouTube at this point. So they
Jake,
wouldn't know
Jacob,
if they get on.
aren't
Hitting some rocks together, like and maybe they'll get on.
aren't you going to
I'm
be in
just
Muncie later today?
yeah, I mean, I will be in Muncie later today. I'll be at the Sotmar conference in my purple shirt and my extensions of Payas I'll be putting on later.
What? We have Hasidim in Muncie? I didn't even know we had Hasidim in Muncie.
Oh,
We have cows.
I mean, I don't know if they come to the softball field, but that's that. But yeah, I'll be in Muncie later today. If anyone's at the Sotmar show, please reach out. Just addictiveads.com, whatever.
What is this? What is this Satmar show? What is this?
It's a Sotmar Business Expo, and
Business Expo.
I'm hoping a quarter of the people there speak English. That is my estimate. Otherwise, I will be leaving after 1 hour. But that is.
Is this something you have to pay for to go, or is this like
tickets are $20? So
oh, okay.
I just paid, and I'm
Is MSL going to be attending? Gets an Ezzy.
If he needs someone to help him with the language barrier, I can help him.
Mendy Rosen will be there. Mendy Rosen.
He'll be there.
Mendy Rosen is commenting.
Ich kann reden a bisschen Yiddish.
You know, so there's an annoying thing.
All I know how to say in Yiddish is showing Gadavin. So when those people on the plane ask me if I Davin, I say showing Gadavin, and they don't.
You know, guys, thankfully we have a nice studio audience for this. So for some reason, as the host, I'm the only one who's able to see the comments. So I have a bunch to catch you up on. Uri Adler says, Ezzy looks so sexy.
I love you, Uri.
Mendy Rosen asked if Yitz could maybe smile a little bit.
That's not easy for me.
Uri claims that Avi's drinking from an empty cup. This message is held for review. Ellie Race was surprised to find out that Bern is Satmar.
I actually am. I think my family from like the 1900s, their last name was Teitelbaum. So
Wow.
I have some Satmar blood in me. So I'm going to go try to explain to them.
I love that our Muncie community is watching and listening and adding to this. They're great. We have a great crowd out there, great players.
We do. They really do.
I guess Grossman's still sleeping though because he hasn't commented.
All right, so let's get to the softball part of stuff. Jake, thank you so much for coming on. We're hoping.
Jake, thanks for everything.
Thanks, Jake.
No problem. There will be more updates regarding addictive research and the whole launch of it. I look forward to provide them pretty constantly. And let's hope HSL kicks some Muncie butt. Enjoy, guys.
Bring it on.
Burn baby bird. I haven't heard
Bird,
that.
baby bird.
Oh, you guys
Bird,
could see
baby
that post? You guys are able to see it?
I can't see any posts.
Who just said burn baby burn? Who saw that?
Burn did.
Oh, Burn must have been watching on YouTube also, I guess. I don't know. Not sure. So I have a feature here that I could post a comment, but it only goes on YouTube, not on Riverside. I'm still learning the technology.
Yeah. I just went into YouTube as well just to see how as he looks, and he does look sexy. And I see the chat also.
Okay, good.
By the way, David, you wanted to know what I do? That's all. I'm just a good-looking guy.
I'm scared to ask how you make money doing that, but so now let's get down to the softball business of things. Whose idea was this? I don't even know.
Okay, so it goes back. I always wanted, Ezzy and I always wanted when we had these leagues, to show off the Muncie talent or the MSL talent, and we had envisioned to have a 4-league tournament. This went back last year. We started discussing it. Maybe LBA, Brooklyn, HSL, MSL, YMSL, and we wanted to get everybody involved. Not an easy thing to do, but that was our big vision. The way this one came about, I think, it was a more recent thing. The sheriff, Yossi Kaufman, right? Yossi Kaufman, his name is.
Yes.
He joined an MSL team, And a few weeks ago, he came up, and for a joke, we talked about how many strikeouts he'd have. And I think Avi decided to go with a huge over under. I don't know what it was, maybe 6.5.
I think it was 8.5.
8.5, which is obviously incredible. 8.5, which got it seemed like it got all the HSL guys to say, "What kind of crappy league has an over/under total of 8.5? Who strikes out that many times? That's oh my god, what kind of league is that?" And that got the juices flowing. Yossi Kaufman did come up. He did dominate. I think he had a one hitter, but he only struck out 3 guys. So the under went way under. And from there, this
He even hit the
got the
He
traction.
even hit
There
the
we go.
MSL under. I think you put the over under like 4.5 or something.
Yeah, because I have more faith in the MSL guys than you. So,
Yeah, it's
uh,
true.
and I think that's how you got a little traction, a little fire burning, and that's how we got to this path, and we're on now.
Wait, so I still don't get it. So Yossi came up, and then what happened? He came up to Muncie, and then what? How did it lead to an
So,
All-Star game?
so before he came up, as I said, Avi posted his how well he'd pitch in Muncie, how many strikeouts he'd have, and that got everybody talking because Avi gave a little slight to us here. I don't
It
know.
got the ball rolling. It got the ball rolling.
It got the ball rolling. Yeah, Avi's a big strikeout pitcher. He averages about a half a strikeout a game. So
But he has a great BABIP. He has a great BABIP.
By the way, the HSL guys know it also because it's happening across all leagues. My BABIP is probably the lowest anybody's ever had in their careers. It's not normal, by the way. It's beyond frustrating. I had it again this past Sunday against the Robins in our playoff game. I ripped 2 balls right at people. It's absolutely ridiculous how every
so
single one of my balls got
so
caught.
so Avi, what I'm hearing is your batting average is terrible.
Yes, we've been talking
So
about it we've been joking about it for a while, but we really wanted to make it happen. And after those comments, it got both sides fired up. We started talking to our guys. You started talking to his guys. Dave, you were involved a little bit,
And
and
once
didn't you at
once
one
the
point, Dave, say enough's enough? Let's make it happen.
once the
All right, I
players
like
started
it.
hearing about this, the juices really started getting flowing, and there was already, hey, let's get this guy, that guy, and and the
I think
fact
we
that
made a chat, right?
Yeah,
We
you
made a
made the
chat.
chat. I found it, Avi. And then you wrote, David Galib, MSL wants to schedule an All-Star game, MSL versus HSL. He's screaming, it would be nice if this comes to fruition. Okay, and then we started hocking. Okay, very nice.
What date was that? What date was that? How long ago was that?
You wrote this on May 5th, so we've been talking about it for
it's
about two,
quick.
two, 2+
2
weeks.
That's
weeks.
good. We got it done quickly. Good.
It's your idea for a tournament. I guess it's a little different than RSK because in RSK you have teams from different leagues joining on the same team.
You talking about the RSK tournament? Yeah.
Yeah,
So the RSK tournament, as you had that beautiful podcast last week with Yossi,
yeah,
the RSK tournament, you have guys from all different areas joining teams. You're just looking for the best team, and there's so many teams, it's hard to find that super team, even though some teams have found it. Here, you're getting guys who played in MSL. It's only guys who played in MSL. We're not taking guys who are just playing other leagues and never step foot on an MSL field. So it's different. The RSK tournament, I might have a team where I never met a guy in my life join my team because hey, the guy's a superstar. Let me get him on his team. But this is an MSL team. It's only MSL players.
right. Got it. So Uri Adler says a classic HSL guy referring to Yossi Kaufman shows up against the worst team and thinks they dominate the league. Uri's a very, very big talker because he talks about how amazing Lakewood is. And I also offered them an all-star game, this or that. He said, we're too busy. We're too busy to make it happen. We don't get
Deal. YMSL, Dave. You have to make it. They take a lot of offense when you call
Yeah, but you
YMSL
can
and
talk and
MS
talk and
Lakewood.
talk, and now I understand he plays in the MSL Fall League, or whatever, multiple leagues
it,
there. He plays in all the
is it,
MSL leagues.
is there even is
All the
there even a
MSL
league
leagues.
in Lakewood? Lakewood has a league? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's what I was confused by, Dave. I thought you were referring to YMSL and MNS. Our good friend,
Sorry,
our
that was
good
meant to.
friend, our good friend Sam Sutton, who runs an amazing league and deal. I thought that's what you were referring to. I didn't know you were referring to anything else.
All of the above, all the above. But MSL is putting up. They're ready to cancel games from their schedule. Now they're schlepping down from Muncie to the 5 towns to play. They're putting their money where their mouth is, and I understand. I guess Uri's just intimidated by the New Jersey guys. He can't get them to show up and skip a couple of games to flex.
And
So, but we're
Uri as
excited
a
to see.
teammate is a great teammate, and he'll back it up. I'll guarantee that he'll back it up as an MSL player, as a teammate of Uri. I know he's going to back up all his talk.
Dave,
Okay.
Ezzy and Uri have been playing on the same team for many years. How long? At least 5, 6, 7.
Yeah,
Since I got in the league, you guys were together.
yeah, we've been together for a while. I've played with Yossi Rosenberg, who's another great player who'll be playing this game. Avrami Rosenberg. I mean, there's some great players, great talent, and great guys. I really like saying about the MSL. It's a family, and there's great camaraderie, great energy within the league, and we all root for each other. So it's really gonna.
Yeah.
We're all looking forward to this.
So
Yeah,
so
you should
Ezzy, on
know,
that
Dave, by the
note,
way,
go ahead,
before we
Avi.
move on, you should know, like, to what Ezzy's point, it's something I think is something that we really, HSL really could, look and take from MSL to an extent, being that we're basically brand new compared to them, is it really is like a crazy, like, I think we're building it here, but like, it's really a crazy family feel. Like, when you're there, you'll have guys that are just showing up for 2.5 hours to watch the game. Not because but I'll tell you even more. Not because there's fancy food and people are selling food and because there's, people giving stuff away in like in other leagues. They're there just because they want to be with the guys and hang out. It's like a real cool atmosphere. That
So
people will just
yeah,
show up
so
to
so
watch. You know.
so on that note, Yitz and Ezzy, why don't you tell we'll probably have plenty of people from HSL watching this who've never heard of MSL before. I didn't know of MSL. I mean, my introduction to MSL was I was on Avi's team 2-3 years ago, and on Sundays we had to time the game to finish like 12:15. He's like, it's an hour and 4 minutes to Muncie. The game ends. You're happy after a victory. Avi's not happy. He's running full speed to his car to catch a game in Muncie, which to me at the time was a wild concept. But I think that it's starting to catch on a little bit. People are playing in both leagues. So, but why don't you tell the audience a little bit about MSL from top to bottom and how it started and what the story is? I think people would be curious to hear. I'm certainly curious to hear.
All right, as you want to take it, or I should.
You can start. I'll jump in. I'll interrupt.
All right, whatever. If I miss some things, I'll try. I'll
One
try to
second,
do the quick
Yitzi
run.
Rosen said we're not schlepping down from Muncie. We're riding down in style.
Yeah, that is true. We are riding in style, and we will be looking quote unquote stylish as well. I certainly hope so. Um, getting started MSL. Ezzy and I started MSL. We started as a kids league way back, probably about 10 years ago. Our kids were still in school, elementary school. My son was in fifth grade. Ezzy's son, I think, was in seventh or eighth then. There were basketball leagues going on here. And we just felt we could enhance those leagues, make the leagues better, get more attention for it. And we took over those leagues, the basketball league early on. That was our first thing. We started out with 4 or 5 teams and quickly grew it. We're up to 20 to 25 teams now for fifth through eighth grade. We put in our hard work. We're always there. Kids love it. And it's a great time. From basketball, we went on to doing a little high school softball. We went on to high school basketball as well, as our kids were in high
What
school.
inspired you to take over those youth basketball leagues though? First, what was going on?
So as a
So I'll tell you, me and Yitz are big camp guys. We always
I'm
trash
shocked.
talked each
I'm
go
other.
shocked to
ahead.
hear that. I'm shocked to hear
Yitz,
that.
Yitz was a big Manovo guy, and I was a big Camp Tarvadas guy. And we always talked about the history of basketball and the rivalries of camps and different players. And conversation just led, hey Muncie, there's some basket. It literally just led into that. Is between our friendship and our trash talking each other, turned into Muncie has some leagues, but there's talent and it's not really run properly. And our love for the sports, our love for camp, and our love for our energy that we have. We said, hey, what? Let's give it a shot. Let's do something together. A little love between Camp Manovo and Camp Tarvadas. And this, and we just.
Without mosquitoes, Ezzy, without.
And that's really how it started. We became good friends, and we started one thing, and it worked. It was great, and the kids league just grew. And again, like it said, it's parent involvement. We're very involved, and we see just kids loving it, enjoying it in a healthy environment, which led to high school, which then led to the adult basketball, which really was not going. They had leagues in the past, never consistently kept up, and we took that over. And then all of a sudden now you have kids, you have high school, you have adult leagues, and that's really how things catapulted into where we are today. So there was a softball league here, which was run by Sam Wainhouse and Marv Lesson. We always were interested. We're always getting encouraged. Hey, wanted to get into the softball. which led to our conversation with the owners of the softball league at that time. This was 2 years ago, and our real goal, and when I sat with Yitz was, if we're taking over this league, if we're going to do the softball league, camaraderie. We have to add energy. There's a Muncie. We have some in Chestnut Ridge and Pomona. It's all separated. But one thing, we're coming to play softball. We all enjoy being there. We enjoy the game. Let's it be that we become friends, like make it a family environment. And that was our number one, number two, number three thing, is that we want to add
Enzi, one
energy.
second, Enzi, 1 second. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Borough Park. I grew up in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, no, your accent is so thick, Brooklyn. And you're talking about Muncie like you're a native. So I was just
I've been in
trying to
Muncie
figure
now
that out.
I've been in
Okay,
Muncie now for 25 years. I've been in Muncie now for 25. I
okay,
can't
but
get rid of the Brooklyn.
you could take the man out of Brooklyn. You can't take the Brooklyn out of the man. Okay, go
Yeah,
on.
please don't
Sorry
tell her.
for
I hope my
interrupting.
wife is not listening to that, because she promised she was never marrying a Brooklyn, especially a Borough Parker. And now when you say that, it's really gonna. Oh my gosh! I hope she doesn't listen to this. Yes, you can jump over from here. 'Cause now I'm gonna keep quiet.
So we took over the softball league, and as I just said, one of the main goals was to bring the excitement back, to bring the energy back, which I thought was lacking over the years. I've been a part of many softball leagues, and I look at them and I say, it's when I wake up in the morning to go to these games, it's I'm coming, playing, leaving, that's it. No one talks about it. The game's over. I'll see you next Sunday. You go to shul there, whatever these leagues are, and no one's talking about it. It's like, what am I doing? Yeah, I'm having fun playing, but I want this as more of an outlet, not just for exercise. I want to have conversations with people, bring excitement, trash talk, all that stuff. And we said we have to bring that back into the league. So we made some changes. We there used to be one game every weeknight, and we're like, that's the same thing as every other league. What are we doing? I'm coming to the game and I'm leaving, and no one knows what's going on. We didn't know anybody. Like, who's this guy? Who's that guy? So now we have multiple games at night, and as Avi said earlier, guys are coming down to watch the games. They're sticking around after the games. They're coming early before their game starts to chill, to watch. Everybody knows everybody in our league now. We have a great chat, elite chat. We do polls, we do votes, everything in there, and it's really exciting. Guys love it, and we get great feedback.
And there's great personalities in the league. You get to, guys who just played softball and you left. Also now, we have nicknames for guys, and it picks up. We just, Avi, everybody knows the BAPIP, the Let's Goes. We have Pajama Pant Pitcher. We have Midfluencer. We have Piss Missile. I mean, there's a lot of
Who's
nicknames
Piss
we have
Missile.
going.
Piss
who's
Missile is Yitzi Eisenberger, Dave.
The P
So
missile, the P
the
missile.
P missile, So there's just a lot of personalities, and we all get to know each other, and I can say like we're an MSL family. It's more than a league. It's really a family.
wow? So that's pretty
100%.
amazing that you guys were able to make that happen. That's really amazing, actually. Did you have that in mind at the beginning, or it's something that just kind of developed over time?
That was priority. That really, really was a priority. I played in the league for many years. Yitz did, and again, you came to the game, you left, and that was it. And when we took over the league, I mean, the number one priority is we're all spending so much time as teammates. We're spending time with different guys. Let's get to know each other. Now we have the WhatsApp status. We're streaming games live, and we have guys joining the booth and talking about other players. And it became now, like hot. The guys are there. Guys want to enjoy, and guys are jumping into the chats that we have. And it's all of a sudden everybody's getting to know each other, which led to we had a fall ball season last year, which after the
Draft
What was
season,
your first fall ball season? That was your first fall ball
so that was
season?
our first fall ball season, and we did that as a draft. So guys got to play with different players, and
Right.
everybody. I played on the same team for the last 6, 7 years, same guys,
Wait,
and
Ezzy. Aaron, I don't know who it is. Maybe Aaron Short says Ezzy's tearing up talking about the MSL.
Yeah, but he also said as he looks constipated, so I'm not sure why he's tearing up.
Seriously, am I getting picked on?
Yes, you are. Go on.
That's fine. That's what I'm here for. It's fine. So we all played. Aaron, I love you, and I want to say something about Aaron once if he's watching. Aaron's I mean, he literally is a collision with him everywhere on every play. This year, he said, I'm not getting hurt. My goal is to stay healthy, stay in one piece. And the first play of the season that his at bat, he ground balls to the pitcher and barrels into the first baseman, tackles him, ends up on the floor. So that's what type of personalities we have in our league. You know, just you know.
Yitz, do you have anything you want to say about MSL before we get into the nuts and bolts of this game?
Anything about MSL? It's a great league. As I said, it's grown, which is the main thing. We're growing the league every year. We went from
And
10
Muncie's
softball
growing
teams.
itself also. The communities are really, really
Community is
growing from what I
growing, which
understand.
makes it easier. We have 12 teams in our softball league this year, which is huge. As we said, we had a
Nice.
full ball last year. We had a draft where one of the captains, Ellie Race, actually traded himself during the draft to get a better draft pick. I don't know how that went through, but it went through.
Ellie Race is
But
a Ellie Race is a slick character, I gotta say.
he has all the loopholes, including shave bats and everything
Sounds
else.
a little like
But
Ariel Cohen. Avi, it sounds like Ellie Race has a little Ariel Cohen up his sleeve.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I
Does
guess.
Ariel Cohen spend 24 hours a day making sure the field's ready to play and doing all those other things for the league? I don't know. But Ellie is
There's only,
there's
yeah.
no MSL without Ellie Race. That is for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
It's really crazy how Ellie Race dedicates his whole life to MSL, yet he's playing in every single softball league in the world. I'm being serious. No, I'm being serious when I say that. It's not a joke. Like it's
It's
really crazy how
amazing.
he put so much work into MSL, but he still manages to be in Deal, Lakewood, Five Towns, Brooklyn, and at times West Hempstead at the same time. It's pretty
He's
insane.
everywhere.
They call him El
It's amazing.
And
Novi.
Teaneck,
He's like El
right?
Novi at a breast. You know, he's just able to
Is
make it
he playing
everywhere.
Teaneck?
He's on a TNEC roster, but he can't this year. His contract with the other
Oh,
league does not
oh,
allow it.
because YMSL, right. Dave, you know this, right? YMSL, you don't miss. Oh, we discussed this. You don't miss games
Yeah.
unless you have a
Yes,
funeral.
yes, and that's why they can't have an All-Star game because the commissioner is their daddy. I get it. Okay. So anyway, Yitzenezi, sounds like you've built something amazing in Muncie. I think subconsciously, Avi and I have been modeling a little bit without knowing too much about it because Avi spends so much time hanging out with the Muncie folks. So we definitely appreciate the template kind of to have this community kind of feel. And you didn't just say community, you guys said a family, which is a
Family.
pretty amazing thing. So let's get down to the nuts and bolts of the game. Before we get into rosters, somebody just asked an interesting question. Gershon, is that Gershon Brookler? Yeah. Whose league rules we using for the All-Star game? LOL. I don't know why he said LOL. I think it's actually.
Well, it's a big question. I mean, it could be. It actually probably be a better question if it was in Muncie, but in MSL, I don't know if a lot of the HSL guys know, but you're allowed to steal from second to third on a wild pitch or after the release.
Or, yeah,
So,
straight steal.
right. So that would have been a great question. I think Five Towns, the fields are much smaller, but it's still a good question. Granted, I don't know. Any thoughts, guys?
Yeah, so I've thought about it. I don't know if I've talked to anybody about it. We do have the stolen base rule here, which keeps it really fresh. The catchers have to be on all game. The pitchers have to be on all game. If there's a runner on second base, and you want to throw that slider down and away, or a fastball up and in, you better hope you have a catcher who's going to block it, catch it. It totally changes the whole game. The strategy is different when there's a runner on second here. I don't think that we haven't really discussed it. I don't think we're going to go with that in this game, in this 3-game series, just because it's going to be too new, I think, for the HSL guys. They've never played with that.
Ask Steve,
Right.
though. Ask Steve and Yossi. Ask Steve and Yossi.
Okay, yeah, we will ask them in the captain's chat for sure. And it's definitely a fun thing. We have it here. It's fun, and if they agree to it, I'd love to do it.
I'm trying to think. What are the other are there any rule differences? Really, besides for maybe some slotting things, so very minute things that can be worked out. Is there any really major rule differences? I'm trying to think from playing in both. I don't. I don't
No
think so. I think mostly.
gameplay. There's no difference. No
Right.
difference in gameplay.
Ezzy, you're really getting cooked in the chat over here. So I think
We're all family. So bring it on.
Who said nuts and bolts? Avi, you said nuts and bolts. So Mendy Rosen said, did he just say nuts and bolts? And Uri said, as he got excited when he heard nuts. You're really getting roasted over here. Wow.
Is this for kids or?
You know what? It's family. Family. You know, Uri, Uri is a great teammate. I'll stay to that. Uri's a great teammate.
Okay, that's the rule. Now to let the audience know, I wrote yesterday in our community that it's an all-star game. Sach Feldberg reaches out to me and he says, so like 7 innings, is Steve pitching 3, is Ash pitching 2, how's that all working? He's asking pitching. I said, no, it's actually 3-game series. So it's going to be a busy night of softball. I believe the captains and the umpires are still discussing how many innings per game. Ezzy and Yit, what are your thoughts on that?
So we went back and forth on this.
We went back and forth. The safest thing obviously would be that one long 9-inning game, but what does that tell you? A 9-inning game tells you nothing. In MSL, you should know that all our playoff series are 3 games. We have 3-game series, first round, second round, because one game, anything could happen one game. Someone might be away, someone might have a bad game. You don't want to decide everything in one game. So as much as it's the safest for time constraints, one game, it's not the right way to go. So it has to be 3 games. Obviously, if we think it's only going to be 2 games in our favor, but if it goes to 3, we'll figure that out. And we're looking at either a 6-inning game 1, 6-inning game 2, and at least 6-inning game 3, or maybe a 7-7, and we'll see what happens in the last game with the time constraints. But that's what we're looking at. We're coming down with the roster, 2 pitchers, get them both in. And 3 innings in each game, 3 innings just for one game is not enough. It doesn't show anything. So that's where we're leaning towards right now.
Realistically, what's the earliest your cheva can get in from Muncie?
So from my experience, we won't be the issue. We will not be the issue. We'll get there. We'll get there, and we will be waiting for you guys. We've done it before. We know it. We actually won a tournament way back in 2014. We came down with a team for a Project Inspire tournament. Great tournament.
Oh, I heard about it. I just heard about that tournament. Yossi Rosenberg told us about it.
Yeah. It started about 2.5 hours late, not because of us. We were there. Our catcher actually left before the first game because we couldn't get started because we were waiting on 5 Towns guys to show up for that 1 kilometer travel that they couldn't get there on time. But anyway,
Yitz, where did you grow up? Yitz, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Brooklyn as well, Flatbush.
But you couldn't tell from his. He didn't have the same accent as me.
Not as thick as yours.
I lost my accent.
Your accent, you're like out of a movie that's like trying to caricature a Brooklyn guy. It's like you could cut the accent with a knife. Yitz, are there any specific names you remember from that 5 Towns faux pas?
On the teams that the guys who came late or the guys who played?
The guys who came late.
I don't know the guys who came late. I know the guys who played. There's some good players.
Actually,
our pitcher, Naftali Solomon, who was pitching for us, MSL, was our opponent in that championship game back then. Adam Hoffman played in that game. Sperling. It was a good game.
Similar chevra. This is 10 years ago, and it's a similar chevra.
Yeah, we were all much younger. That's for sure.
Yitz, how old are you?
I'm 45.
Okay, and Ezzy?
22.
22. Wow. Okay.
I'm actually
22.
49. I'm 49.
49. And how old is Solomon?
He's older than me.
So something pretty fascinating.
48.
So Kaufman is going to be the youngest pitcher by a wide margin. He's 40. Wait, Yitz, you said you're 45? I think no, it's not by a wide margin. I think the sheriff is probably 40 or 39, something like that. And then you have Steve Pollan, who's like 55. So the pitching, it's really a geriatric pitching all-star game. That's really what's going on, which is pretty interesting.
It is, but it's just the best pitchers are older. That's the way it is.
Why do you think that is? Experience?
I don't know. We'd love to see young blood come in, but you look around, even the MSL, some of the best pitchers are older. You have Zevi Simanowicz. He's much older.
Shmuel
Lobenberg, much older. Jack Zwick, who comes up from Brooklyn. Older guys. There are some young guys, obviously, who are getting into it, but I don't know.
Avi Edelman.
Avi Edelman. I forgot about Avi Edelman. Avi Edelman's an old guy.
So Avi, on our roster, we've got, who are the young fellas? We've got Moshe Zinn.
Unfortunately, I'm on my phone. Pull it up, Dave. I sent it to you.
Well, you wrote everybody in. You didn't tell me who.
I didn't send you a screenshot?
I mean, what's Nenner? 32 years old.
I would say Zinn is the youngest by a long shot. I sent Yitz the roster, but he's on his phone also, I think.
Oh,
Do you
Matt
want me to pull
Rosenberg
your?
is young. Matt Rosenberg is young, right?
Yeah. We have a couple.
Unfortunately,
We have a couple of low 30s. We have Zinn. We have
oh, Jack Ross is young. He's in his
Jack
20s.
Ross is young. I would say 4 of the 13 are between 24 and 33. The rest are
How
older.
many?
Yeah,
What?
we
You
got
have Glenn
three, four.
Zuckerman, who's like he's a teenager.
No, we have some. Our position players. Some of us guys are younger as well. It's
We have
pitchers
Rami
only, but.
Rosenberg is young. Uri Adler is young. Yeah, we have some young guys
Oh,
there.
Azzy, are you leaking? Are you leaking the roster now? Is
Oh,
that what
oops.
that's
Yeah, I
happening?
haven't announced yet.
Wow,
I actually received it, but I haven't yet announced it.
Oh,
wow.
is it secret? Avi sent it to me this morning.
Yeah, but you
Azzy
don't
with
send to
the
anyone else.
leak.
Okay.
I haven't posted it in any of the chats.
Okay, very
Yeah,
nice.
I mean, now's a good time, but yeah, we haven't posted it yet. It's not easy, especially in MSL. There's so many. It's a huge league. We have 300 players in the league. It's not easy to narrow it down. It really isn't. There's many deserving guys who should be on it, and it wasn't easy. I went back and forth with a few guys, and they know that it was hard for me to pick it. But we came down with the roster at the end. Some guys aren't available, but we came down with the roster, and we think it's strong enough to beat anybody.
Yeah, while we're talking, it's I'm still I'm still salty. I have a message just came up from Steve. We need all-star jerseys, don't we? Seems like the MSL is going to come down. Seems like the MSL is going to come down in style. 6 days to go. Need a sponsor.
NDC, baby.
Zin is
The
23.
biggest the biggest question everybody wants to know. We have polls on our status. The over under of let's goes from Avi during the All-Star game. So the number is 7.5 of let's
Does
goes
Avi do
from
let's go?
Avi.
Does Avi do let's goes while he's watching also? I don't know.
You
He
know
always
what?
does.
We're
Does
gonna
he ever
find
not do
out. The
it?
number if he was playing, the number would have been 11. Because he's not, it's
Dave,
7.5.
by the way, Dave, you know that the Let's Go was really born for the most part in MSL or in RJSL at the time. But that's really the birth of the Let's Go. I mean, it started in Romu really for a little bit, but it
Of course,
got really
everything starts in Roman with Avi.
but it got really elevated into like a real thing in Muncie. Basically, is where it started. That's the
Because
birthing.
yeah, because the competition, the aggression, you got to show it. It's not just I'm here to pitch 3 innings. It's I'm here for the whole week. Remember me.
I was a little kid who was dominating a bunch of other little kids and adults, by the way. And me and Yitz had some fierce rivalries in which he claims that we beat them due to an umpire making bad calls. So when I got to MSL for the first time, Yitz was very set on showing me that I'm playing with the big boys, which he actually proved a bit of a point. The first time I played against his team, I actually had to leave in middle to play against Rome, ironically enough. But I got pretty badly knocked around. But anyways, from that's really was the what took the let's go from like a little cutesy thing to something like as like my own like tagline as got him, sort of type of thing.
It's big. It's big.
Um,
And when he doesn't do it, we think something's wrong with him. So
But he always does it, so it's fine.
um, okay. Who's ready? It could be Ezzy or Yitz. We play a game on this podcast. We do 5 questions very fast.
if it has to do with speed, it's Ezzy.
What's the deal?
I love my MSL family.
He's slow. So we ask 5 questions really fast. These aren't thinking questions. These
That's
are
definitely Ezzy.
okay.
Avi, do you have an HSL cap there, Avi? Do you have an HSL cap?
I think I have an extra one. I was actually gonna wear my Nick cap. But then after what happened last night, I was feeling a little.
Don't stop. We have
So
good feelings on that.
if you don't answer in a second, the question is moot. It's a moot point. Like we move on to the next question. So who's gonna take it?
Okay, I'll take it.
Yes, you go
Okay,
for it. Yes, I'm afraid what's going to come out of my mouth.
All right. Just give me 1 second to make sure I have all 5. Okay. All right. Ready? Who do you want to see up in a big spot? Uri Adler or Ellie Race?
Ellie Adler.
Is
Great
Avi
job,
Edelman
yes.
a top 3 MSL pitcher?
Yes. On the night he's there when only 2 teams are playing.
It's a politically correct 5 answers, huh?
Yitz, you nailing it, Yitz.
Who's the best fielder you have coming down to the All-Star game?
Yossi Rosenberg.
All right, there's an answer. Look at that.
Yeah. He's A+ in the outfield, A+ in the infield. He could play both, and he's a great pitcher. So yeah, Yossi Rosenberg.
Who's your favorite MSL sponsor?
Jules by DK, NDC, everything, all of them.
You only mentioned two though. Which Rosen is funnier, Mendy or Yitzy?
It's not even close, Mendy. Not even close.
Wow.
Mendy's underrated. Like, he's really funny, Mendy.
It's not even close.
We
But
love
Mendy's
Yitzy, you know.
here's the difference. Mendy's not trying to be funny. He's just being himself, and it's funny.
Who's your number one draft pick in the fall ball MSL league?
If I had one pick and everybody was Noam Block.
No, Block, and he's gonna miss the game. All right, I'm done. That's a shame, and he's missing the game, right? Unless the Knicks get swept in 4.
Unless the Knicks get swept. Yeah, well, they can't sweep now, so yeah.
What position does Noam play?
Center field.
Wow, not bad. He's not.
You know who Norm's
not a
like.
youngster either.
You know who
He's not a
Norm's
youngster anymore.
you know who Norm's similar to, with a little bit less power, but a little more consistency at the plate. He's similar to Matt Rosenberg. You know, Matt has more pop, but Norm's much more consistent. But they're very similar in which they're both really fast. Like, they get from home plate to first base in a nanosecond. It's absolutely insane. And the outfield are just everywhere all the time. They're very similar players.
You probably don't know this, Avi, about Block, but Block has extreme power also. He really does. He doesn't
Really?
use it. He could turn
I
on
haven't
one.
seen that.
He could hit one to the fence in right field when he can. It's
All
not
So
his
right.
maybe
game.
he's
It's
more
not
like
his
Matt than I
game.
thought.
We
Right.
gotta wrap.
I've never seen.
We gotta wrap in 2 minutes. Two more things to get to. One is, first of all, Yitzhak Ezzy, do you have anything else you want to add?
Ezzy, you first.
You know what? We're all excited about this, and I would like to say, to Avi, we have a great MSL and HSL have a great relationship, and Avi is great. And David, I don't know you well enough yet, but working together with Avi and the camaraderie and the relationship that we have makes something like this possible. To have an all-star game, we have two leagues. Everybody likes having Marley's great. Here we're able to sit together and partner up with each other, and I think that's such a great thing on behalf of HSL and the MSL, that we're able to have this relationship where, with fun and looking forward to it, and there'll be some smack and there'll be some trash talking, but all in a fun atmosphere. So really, we always enjoy Avi coming down to our games and be able to share information with each other. We're always there to help you guys. You're there to help us. And that's something I think being gets really, really appreciate with regard to our relationship between MSL and HSL.
Thank you, Izzy.
100%. 100%. Just on Avi, as Avi mentioned, when he got here, I hated him. I mean, I hated him. So I'll tell you who hated him more. Jack Bonner hated him, and Jack Bonner loves everybody. He came in screaming. We're like, who's this 16-year-old kid screaming at all of us? And his let's goes were annoying, and the umps hated him. And honestly, he grew on us. We all love him. He worked harder than anybody else. That I know for sure. His HSL. He works hard, and we joke about it because the Mickey Mouse stuff and the clown stuff. But we all know he puts his heart into it, and it's a great growing league, HSL. And players from HSL play by us, MSL players that play by you, and it's really a partnership in that way. And we only wish him success and to continue and to see the fruits from all this hard labor. You too, David.
Amen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. So now, last but not least, we got to get to predictions for the game. Avi, why don't you go first?
Sure. Now, I happen to be, I guess, Yitz also a little bit, but I think probably me the most, being that I play with all these guys consistently. I really know the talent of both rosters. I pitched against everybody on both rosters. Even Moshe Zid, I pitched against, who went 2 for 5, should have been 1 for 5 in MSL. Moshe Zin. Anyways, they're both very talented. And I'll tell you something that the HSL guys aren't necessarily aware of. The top out, I mean, the lineup for MSL is great, but the top 5 guys are just, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. They lost a couple of people, like Block and the other lefty who hit one to 300 feet off me the other week. But they're really talented hitters, who aren't just like power hitters. They actually know what they're doing. So I think it's gonna, like, Steve Pollen needs to be on his game. He cannot be walking guys. If he's walking guys, HSL is gonna lose. If Yossi Kaufman's fastball isn't on, HSL is gonna lose. It's not like a walk in the park where we could just, okay, if the pitcher is okay, don't worry, we'll hold them down. They're not gonna. They have a really talented deep team, and more, and to speak more on that, their field is just insane. Absolutely not. The Rosenbergs are two of the craziest, most, and I think everyone, especially Yossi Kaufman, who plays with Yossi Rosenberg Monday nights and Sunday mornings will attest. They're just it's incredible how, and Uri Adler's a fantastic fielder, and Ellie Race, as you know, it's going to be a very tight game. I think MSL will realize as the night goes on the greatness of these five towns players who've proven a point in the Gridiron Gauntlet flag football tournament, and I think we'll prove a point tonight. I do think it'll go 3 games. Two reasons. Yitz is a very crafty pitcher, and Yitz is a pitcher that a lot of HSL guys don't get to face too much. I know you have guys like Koenig who throws real junk, even Steve Powell to an extent, but it's not the same as Yitz. No one moves the ball like Yitz does on a consistent basis. Yitz doesn't walk guys, which Koenig does walk guys, and Powell does walk guys. It's a different look, and I think that will confuse the guys. I think Yitz has the ability to get a win for his team. I don't want to bash on any of the other pitcher, even though he may or may not have taken my spot on Uri Adler's RSK team. But anyways, a long story short, I think it will go 3 games. I think HSL will pull it out. I think my boys Matt Rosenberg and Jack Ross and Adam Offman ultimately are severely underrated in the outskirts of the five towns. I think they'll show the world their true talents. I think HSL will take game 1. Will really take. I honestly think HSL will take the game. The Yitz is not pitching. I'm not just saying that to kiss up the Yitz. I truly believe in Yitz's abilities, and I really think it's a look the HSL guys just don't get ever, and I think it'll really confuse them. I think ultimately game 3, though, whether it's Yitz or the other, Yitz, HSL will end up adjusting and will win in 3 games. I don't know how long the 3rd game will be, but I think HSL will take the series, and that's just my humble opinion. I'll go even further. I say they lose the Yitz game 3-2. They'll win the other game 5-2, and they'll win game 3 4-2. I think it's low scoring. I think both teams have tremendous fields and tremendous pitching.
All right, that was a hell of a long prediction. Thank you, Avi. Yitz and Ez, you think you could do it any more quickly?
Yitz, you go for this one.
I'll go first. I don't know the 5-10s guys well. I heard they're all awesome hitters, awesome pitchers. I do think it's going to be low scoring. I do think all the games will be low scoring, and not just because of the pitchers, but it's really because of the field. You're going to have no holes in the field, except for the field itself. But other than that, I think it's going to be low scoring games. I do also think it's going to go to 3 games because when you have 2 really good teams, wins are going to happen. I'm going to go with MSL winning. I back my guys. I love my guys. And I think we have a great team. It's going to be a close game. If it goes 3 games, which I'm hoping it doesn't, but if it goes 3 games, final score in the 3rd game would be 2-1 MSL. 2-1 MSL.
I agree with everything you said.
There we go.
That's it.
Dave, we gotta get final predictions from you, Mr. Gottlieb.
That's a good question. Steve actually asked me what kind of pitcher Yitz was. I sent your picture to Steve. I said, "This is your competition." He said, "Man, that guy looks old." No, I'm kidding. He didn't say that. He just said, He said, "Is he good?" No, he's like 10 years older than you. He said, "Is he good?" And Avi, you didn't reply. I said, "I don't know." Avi, I said, "I heard he's a funky pitcher." Avi has to weigh
I must have
in.
not seen that. I must have not seen that. I would have replied if I saw it.
Yeah, I'll tag you in it. So it's a wild card, but I just look at the hitters coming down on our side, and I have this bias. There's a term, just a recency bias, a primacy bias. It's hard to. I don't know the MSL guys. I've heard about Uri Adler. I talked to Uri Adler. I'm friends with Uri Adler. I've never seen him play. I've actually never met Uri Adler.
Naftali Solomon's a super pitcher too.
By the way, I just want to make it clear. I was joking around. That was a joke. It wasn't really a joke. It wasn't really a joke.
I am the he's the 1. I'm the 1A. Naftali Solomon's a stud.
He's the 1. You're the 1A. 1A is better than 1.
No. He's the 1. He's the 1. I'm the 1A.
Whoa. So who's pitching more?
That we're not going to let you know.
Justin,
we both know who's pitching. You're hungry. You're chomping at the bit.
In case anyone didn't pick up on it, Naftali is a fantastic pitcher. He actually pitched Uri's team to the championship in the tournament. The joke that I was making, which was partially a joke, was the fact that he was the one who happened to take over my spot, which had nothing to do with Naftali. And also the fact that I do believe Naftali is a great pitcher, but he's more of a he's a common pitcher that you'll see a lot more than you'll see a guy like Yitz, who's throwing primarily junk, which is why I think it'll affect the HSL guys a little bit more, is what I was trying to say. Anyways, go ahead, David.
So I don't know. What will I give without much knowledge of it? I think there's going to be a surprise. I just don't know on which side. I think one of the games is going to be a blowout. and I'm not going to predict HSL to lose, so I think it's going to go 3. I think one of the 3 games will be a blowout, if not 2 of them. But HSL will take it in the end. Beyond that's the one thing. There's going to be something that doesn't stim. I don't know what it is. Maybe some pitcher's not feeling it that night. Maybe Moshe Zin has a bad game at short. I don't quite know what it's going to be. Sorry to call you out, Moshe Zin. I have no reason to believe that just because you're such a crucial part of the team. Like you said, Avi, maybe Steve Pollen walked 6 guys in the first 3 innings. So I think there will be 1 or 2 surprise. There might be 1 or 2 lopsided games, but I think it will go 3 games. That's all I could offer, and that HSL will win. Can't give more than that. Ride and die with Naftali, says Uri Adler. Doesn't sound like he wants you to pitch it.
Yeah, well, Uri doesn't respect. Uri doesn't respect his teachers. I'll tell you that much.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to have you guys on. We're going to do another one next week. We're going to have some players on. You guys are, of course, welcome to join. Also, I got to reach out to sponsor Yitzi Rosen so you can talk about NDC Pharmaceuticals. And maybe somebody else from MSL, and maybe 1 or 2 people from HSL. It'll be a crowd.
Yeah, we should definitely have some of the players in the roster do a little bit more trash talking. We're very.
I would love to have Steve on, but Steve doesn't do trash talking. Steve's a very diplomatic guy.
By the way, trash talking MSL versus HSL, I guarantee MSL is winning that one. Guaranteed.
Listen, I don't know. By the way, you bring on a guy like Archie, by the way, who hasn't confirmed playing yet, but Archie's got some good trash talk abilities. I know you guys got Grossman, and you guys got Uri Adler and Ellie Race, but and Aaron Schwartz, but Archie can give anyone a
trash talk. Adam Hoffman's not trash talking.
I said Archie. Archie.
No, I'm asking who else is available.
Avi Nenner a little bit.
Nenner's not going to trash. Oh, Glenn Zuckerman would.
Oh, Glenn will trash talk. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Glenn will big time trash talk. Maybe we'll have Glenn and Archie on with Grossman and Adler. That'll be a fun. Didn't we have that once with we had a few of those guys on together.
It'll be fun. Don't worry, we know you were joking. He said he was referring to RSK. It was not a knock on Yitz at all. Yitz, he's actually a little afraid of you, apparently. Anyway, guys, it was a real pleasure. Looking forward to an exciting week ahead.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you very much, Avi.
Thank you.
All right, go. Okay.